Hi, this is IK. Welcome to Flexbox. And I ask GPT, artificial intelligence, this: code me 3 items, parallel, equal, in CSS Flex. In left item, 2 items overlap. Middle item empty, and right item 2 items overlap. Result was here. You see, I must grow frame. Here it is. Result was this, what you see, flex box, possibility of flex box, and difference with grid. Grid always give us alignment, columns alignment, but with the flex box you can do something like this. Before overlap, I ask overlap, I have a flex as grid. Here is a grid, CSS grid. Here is CSS Flex. And here CSS Flex box overlap. Overlap. Here it is, this on the top, overlap. And you can download the Tank 2 application. Address is in description, and you can see and copy for your usefulness and for your learning. Here is style, outside style, and I create comment, and you see it is card CSS Flex overlap. I call it card, but it is layout of all pages or segment of pages, etc. Card CSS Flex overlap is it is copy of artificial intelligence what give me. I only copy. Here it is, and you can see it. And when I copy it, I change value and learn what is what, and not complicate. Very fast I learn. There is nothing new here for me. And very, very interesting to find what happened when we change some of properties, some of selectors here in CSS. In in documentation about CSS today, these days, I see they call properties, and I like it. I didn't like selector. That it is selector, CSS selector. But we have curly brackets. Inside curly brackets, we have writing properties, column, value of properties, but that we understand, it is not object. In CSS, we have no. It is not object, but in documentation now is properties, because why and middle, this is a class, and when we have class we have it is something connected with object, but here in CSS there is nothing connection, but it is for me excellent to call middle, to call classes and properties, flex properties, high, and value. Okay, you can copy for you, or you can ask artificial something else. It is very, very practical what you see in this my video, how I use artificial intelligence, and boring job to code from scratch CSS and HTML. It was very, very boring for me, because I am a lot of web pages coding like that. And if you can code, you can copy starting base fundament for HTML document. It is nothing for coding a lot of div, other tags, and lot of CSS. And very, very hard job was position that and the position and alignment. Very, very, very hard with float left, etc. And now with the CSS grid level 2 and CSS Flex box layout, I don't know what people can find in Material or Figma, I think, all company, what position themselves between developer and CSS. And they will have a very, very difficult time for a job with artificial intelligence. You see, we take Material and others frameworks between developers and CSS HTML manual code, but now manual code. But now you see, nothing coding. I ask artificial intelligence, and you can go back in video and you see how I ask. I ask with the normal language what I want, and artificial give me it in second. And it is excellent, you see. You see here it is. In Material I something see that grid level new, level 2 is something new, but I don't know how many they've produced. But I ask again, what you can expect of Material and other frameworks user interface when you have artificial intelligence, and when you have knowledge about CSS grid and CSS Flexbox, you must have knowledge. You can now copy this and learn from this, but like me, but I know all about CSS, I know all about HTML, and have a lot of years of practice, and I can now something new. It is not new, but for me is a new grid level 2, grid and Flexbox now. And thanks to artificial, I little look at in documentation, and all is clear, and I don't need a lot of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to see what is it. And after that I ask artificial that code for me, that coding for me. And enjoy, present, display, talk about that, share about that through my video channel. If you know somebody that need teaching like this mine, say them about this video, subscribe, like and enjoy in CSS Grid Level 2 and CSS Flexbox layout. Excellent, enjoyable, and will be lot of new developers because of React, because of Redux, Router, because of CSS Grid Level 2 and CSS Flexbox. Enjoy in learning and working with artificial intelligence and my channel. Of course, you can download this React application and see CSS and see component. You see card CSS Flex, card CSS Flex overlap, card CSS grid, card header. It is something what we didn't work today because it is only for total beginners to see what is it CSS. But how to work is grid, CSS Flex, CSS Flex overlap, and it's all. All that pages you can see here. That component you can copy, you can learn, and outside the style is here, and I call it in comment what is it, and it is better for copy or learning. Also here is this comment is comment of artificial intelligence. I didn't comment it. Grid container. It is good to call. Okay, it is card. Card content. It is card CSS grid. Here it is a grid container, and all other grid item grid. It is good call like this because we have a flex. Here is a media switch for other screens, and you see flex, not grid but flex container, and flex item and flex item right. Again, only difference is that flex, with flex we don't need to have alignment, columns alignment. Look at this overlap where it is columns, but columns alignment. But in grid we always have columns align. Okay, it is. But possibility of grid and flex is impressive. Okay, if you know some reason for material user interface or other frameworks for user interface between this grid level to Flexbox and the other CSS, between that and artificial intelligence, artificial is very important because we don't need write code. Between that and if you see, for what we need now with artificial intelligence, for what we need material and other frameworks, user interface. Okay. It's it. Thank you for watching this video.